Engineer Flores Seriki is unarguably Nigeria's leading ICT entrepreneur. She ranks high amongst champions of local content and manufacturing in ICT sector in Africa. In this interview with Francisca Nana, she throws more light on Nigeria's IT industry, its growth, and how government policies affect businesses in the sector.
In your assessment as one who has spent over 2 decades in the IT industry in Nigeria, would you in sincere terms say the industry has grown positively over time?
Over the last 2 decades, I'm happy you said we should assess it over the last 2 decades. I've been here, this year will be 28 years, and I can tell you, of course, the IT sector has grown. How? Way back, we only used to boast of selling normal products. We're all heavy, Omatech, Task, Dataflex, Allied. We all used to sell products then like IBM, Compaq, Dell. Even Dell was not there at the beginning. Microsoft, Apple. And we were selling to the oil sector. We were selling to the private sector. We're also selling to government. Heavy. We're selling HP printers and we're all making money. We grew very well. And this same question you asked used to be asked when we talk at press conferences like this, and that was growth.
Would you say the same of the manufacturing sector in Nigeria? How far have you come?
No, before we even go manufacturing, which is even a good dimension you have gone. Today, how am I assessing us? Have we grown in the IT sector as it relates to manufacturing? Now, we have the same population with Asia, India, China, Nigeria. We're all talking heavy population. They have taken advantage of their population. They have grown the IT industry and geared the IT industry towards the manufacturing sector. They have changed the face of their continent from being consumers of finished products to producers. So when you say, have we grown, I'm now assessing all over again, but not from the perspective of how much money we were making then, but from the perspective of how we have empowered ourselves, how we have been able to grow that sector in the manufacturing field, how we can boast that we made it by ourselves, how we can say it is made in Nigeria. So if you now go to the manufacturing sector, have they grown? They used to be very big as well. This was a big sector, if you recall. But some things have made them to come down. And what are those things? We should go back now to the drawing board. I remember when President Obasanjo was there, he set up a presidential committee for which I was part of. And he said that we should design templates of how Nigeria can become China of today. Short term, mid term, long term. And he believed government should be the major people consuming our products. And he believed in made in Nigeria, in local content, in local patronage. But how have we done this? So what has happened is this. We've been able to get local policies there. He gave us the local patronage, local content policy. We were able to get 0% duty for some of us that ventured to manufacturing. We were able to, he opened up an IPC to start giving us pioneer status, just to encourage us to start to produce. If India can take software to drive the whole economy of their own continent, why can't we? We have the same resources, we have the same population. China started also with hardware, together with Taiwan. Taiwanese started by doing a lot of moldings, machineries, and so on. And China took advantage of the population as well. And they went straight into manufacturing and assembling. Now, look at all our youths out there. How can we engage them? Be it ICT, be it manufacturing, we're talking the same thing. It's only when we produce with our own hands that we can empower people.
In what ways has government policies been fair or not fair to your kind of business?
The local content, local patronage policy, it made it real by creating a system whereby he encouraged that government should patronize our own. Okay? And he tested it with the Kani project, Computer for All Nigerians initiatives. It was a good start. We just needed to have developed more on it.
But some government representatives even say the Kani project was a failure.
Not at all. If you study the way the Chinese man did it, they started with local policy. They started with their own factories. We have started also with the same, but we didn't grow it more. The only rule of the game for you to produce quality products, which we delivered at that time, and which is still being delivered today, is just to enlighten the masses of how it works. How does it work? It's like a car assembly. There are different factories producing engines of the cars, different factories producing the chassis, different tires, different manufacturers for different parts of the car. It's the same thing for computers. There are different factories for the various components of the computers. That's one. Number two, those factories are in first class level, mid-level, low level. The Compaq and IBM we've sold in the past has exposed us to the first class manufacturers. We know them, we drink coffee, tea together because we've worked with them for years. But what do we need to continue to buy from them? Volume. The game is economies of scale. Okay? That was what Baba Obasanjo, the president, understood at that time. And that's why he was trying to create economies of scale through our population. He was taking advantage of the masses of the population. And we got quality product because these are the same people who were buying the same Compaq and IBM from. They also have approached, the Compaq and IBM we sold had approached all these different manufacturers of the various components. They didn't have one Compaq like that. It's a combination of several components, minimum of 13 components. And we know these people. Intel and Microsoft are the first two. Memory factory is the third one. Motherboard factory, chassis factory, speaker factory, monitor factory. I can continue like that. Now, imagine the volume we did when we were doing Compaq and IBM. If we too can meet these same people that we know and create that volume, the 3/4 of the products they were producing for Compaq IBM were coming back to Nigeria and West Africa and Kenya. So if Africans can start to use their hands to do this, do you know what will happen? The volume will increase. They will start to look at us more. Then other factories will start to spring up from here. So what has happened is we deliver the same product, but that was the end of that scheme.
Backup or after sales, many say this is a challenge for most of the local OEMs. How far is this true?
That is not correct. That's why the first part of this interview, if we want to do something, we should learn how it works. That's why people go to a master plan and have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and start to think where they are. We have started by promoting local content patronage. We have started by sensitizing civil servants to buy. but we have not continued. So what do we need in that respect? It's simple. These factories will continue to operate. Training will continue to go on with our engineers. But collaboration between the factories and the institutions has to continue. Because some of the things we do out here is not that practical at the university level.
Thank you very much, Engineer Seriki. It's been wonderful having you on the show.